Hi, I'm Sarah, and you're watching Can Sarah DIY It. Today I'm participating in a collab with small creators, anyone that has under 1,000 subscribers, and we are doing back to school items. My first project, I took an apple sign from the Dollar Tree, and I took out the rope, and I'm just filling in the holes with stucco from the Dollar Tree, and I'm using chalkboard paint. So not chalk paint, chalkboard paint. You need to put on as many coats as needed to get an opaque surface, and you need to let it dry between each coat. The great thing about this project is there are so many different shaped signs at the Dollar Tree, and there are wood cutouts. There are just so many different options. So an example, my daughter's really into unicorns. They had a unicorn head sign. I easily can make this exact sign using the unicorn head. And I might actually have to do that now that I came up with the idea. So here I've cut out vinyl. I've done a couple coats of the chalkboard, and I cut out two different sizes of the vinyl. I end up going with the small option, and I'm just weeding out the littler pieces. And what I'm going to do is a reverse stencil. So I'm going to put these pieces of vinyl onto my chalkboard, and I am going to do a coat of paint on top of it and then peel this back. Just to give you an indication of what type of mom I am, I have this chalkboard paint because for one of my daughter's birthday parties, I painted a wall in my house as a chalkboard for a photo backdrop and decorated the chalkboard with chalk markers and chalk, and it was pretty epic, actually. And then like a month later, I painted it back to the regular wall color. So basically, I'm just extra, and I'll do anything for a party, especially a photo op. So I chose a few different things. Obviously, I need to put in Charlotte's first day of, and then we'll put in second grade there with some chalk. And then teacher's name, how old she is, what she wants to be when she grows up, and the date. And, you know, there are a lot of different things you can put on these types of signs. If your sign is bigger, you can put things like, what are your favorite things? What's your favorite color? Lots of different options. Once I get all these stickers on, I am going to do 2 coats of Imperial by Folk Art chalk paint. And again, it's one of those things where you want to just get it to the color. Oh, I forgot. Yeah, I did a coat of the chalkboard paint because when you are stenciling something that has small details like the lettering and stuff that I was doing, if you do a coat of the original color underneath, it will stop the bleeding. So I had 0 bleeding when I pulled up. You'll see. I do 1 coat of the red paint. I dry it. You can see how quick the heat gun works. Obviously, this is sped up, but it's still pretty fast. And then I'm going to do my second coat and get that nice red color. It's best to peel up your decals when the paint is damp or still wet, but I find that I have smudges when I do that. So I did dry the paint a little bit, but it was still slightly damp when I pulled up my decals. And I just absolutely love this sign. Oh, I added a stem and a leaf before I peeled up my decals because I wanted it to be under, I didn't want to cover up any of the things that any of the information that I wanted on the board. So I just took some of the same folk art chalk paint, and I will link that paint and all the items that I used today in my description box. Now's a great time for me to talk about the collab I'm doing. So I'm working with a group of YouTubers that are newer channels that have under 1,000 subscribers. We're working together every second Sunday of the month, and you get to go ahead and play the playlist and see what we have to offer. I think it's a great way to find new YouTubers that might have something to offer that you haven't seen before. So definitely check out the link in my description box and give some love to the other YouTubers on this collab. let's hop into our next DIY. I wanted to make something for my fridge where I can display Charlotte's accomplishments at school in sort of like a big deal kind of way. So I found this in clearance. I think it was like 75% off at Hobby Lobby. But they make this shape at the Dollar Tree for $1, and you can do something almost identical to this. So I cut this out on my silhouette, a little decal or a little stencil, and I am going to be using a turquoisey teal color. Charlotte's been really into blues and teals recently, and I want her to really love this. So here we go. First, I stencil on Charlotte's schoolwork onto the front, and then on the edges, I am going to take the same color paint and do a couple of coats of this folk art chalk paint, and I will link it in the description box below. I can't remember what color it is, but it did take 2 coats of paint to make it look really good. After doing 2 coats, I flipped everything over and I glued magnets to the back of my piece. Then it was time to do a few touch-ups, and this is when I actually did the second coat on the edges, and it turned out really great. I did stick it to my fridge, and the magnets are a little too weak for how heavy this board is, so I'm going to have to go and buy some heavier magnets, but the idea is still the same. I think it's basically just making it a point that this is an important thing. This is what we're going to celebrate, your work this week. Please consider subscribing, and if you're not already, follow me on Instagram. On Wednesday, Charlotte has her first day of school, and I will be posting pictures of us using this sign. Have a great day. Bye.